Hello everybody, and welcome back to my Fill to Diamond series. This game I got filled into jungle with Miss Team Comp. I got Mumu Samira bot lane, that's what I'll be focusing on this game. So first things first, in the jungle, with one major difference from support Maokai is you kind of have to start Q. It's your only real damage source, so it's pretty imperative that you do. My strategy this game, in Champ Select, I told my bot lane to pick a hyper carry so that I could funnel them as much as possible. Basically what that means is I'll be playing really heavily towards bot lane this game, because getting a Samira ahead will basically make the game super easy and super winnable very quickly. So, for my runes, I am running Aftershock, Font of Life so that I heal my allies when I'm ganking, Conditioning to get more armor magic resistance for a little bit more in the mid game, Overgrowth to make sure I'm as tanky as possible, as well as Tenacity and Triumph for clutching out those fights and making sure that I can't be locked down. For secondaries, I took attack speed for better jungle clear and ability power and armor. So we're starting here on blue buff. The reason why I'm starting bot lane is to get the best leash possible. Also, starting bot lane makes it much easier to 3-camp into bot lane, which is my goal for this game. I told them to let the enemies push so that I can easily 3-camp here. And these are support Maokai mechanics that I'll show you later in the game, but make sure that you get sapling second and you're throwing it at all your camps to increase your DPS. This is a pretty standard clear. Not much going on right now, but trust me, it'll get eventful in a second here. So one important thing I'm doing here is I'm kiting the camp towards where I want to go. So my next Q will knock the wolf down towards bot lane. So I'm basically ready to go whenever I'm able to leave. And I can start walking away about now, so I can just shoot a Q back whenever I'm done. There we go. Now I'm level 3. Bot lane, if I start looking down here, just is about to turn level 2. So I have a huge level advantage here. And since they did let him push in, like I said, we have a great gank window right here. Come in with my sapling, engage on the brand. I also ignite the Caitlyn, get first blood there, and we get Caitlyn's flash. Actually, both of her subs. We got her heal as well. So what I'm doing here is super important. I'm trying to help shove out the wave before I leave. Because if they don't get this wave crashed, it's going to leave them frozen, and it's going to make the lane a lot harder. So then I roam back up mid. This Echo looks like he's over pushing a lot, so I think it would be an easy gank as I'm roaming up towards topside here. Especially since he walks up just like this as I'm approaching. Throw down sapling, I root him, try to knock him towards the Kiana, but he ends up flashing, but it's okay. Good gank, we got the flash, and we're winning both of these lanes basically already. And you'll see here in a second, Kiana gets him anyways. So I still get an assist off that, super valuable gank. And I'm clearing up towards my top lane. I already got 2 successful ganks. If I'm able to gank the Teemo and help him out, I think that'd be really good. I ward right here because I see that Lee's topside. I don't want him to invade me. So to be careful there, I'm warding and all that good stuff. I'm trying to knock the buff into the wall to get the stun off here. Because if you knock it into terrain, it does briefly stun it and stop it from dealing more damage to me since I'm a little bit low. But Maokai's passive really helps with that, because you just heal one of your autos. I kind of forced to do a full clear here rather than spam ganking top lane, because Lee could easily come in and just take my camps and it would set me very far behind. He tries to Q over to stop me on golems, but I kill it before he's able to, and he can't get over. So he comes in, tries to get me here. I think the hitbox on that was really dumb, but it turns out okay, so it's no big deal. I just recall over here. So the game plan from here is to get my first item, which is going to be a Sunfire Cape. Is the goal. I try to get Lucids, but then I realized that Bombing Cinder would be better because I need health for the ganks. And it also really improves clear speed, which is super valuable. And my team gets another pick on the Lee Sin here, I'm pretty sure. Kiana chases him down. Kiana's mobility is kind of stupid. So here, I'm basically just running straight down bot lane since they're perma-shoving. Don't have ult yet, but it's still going to be a pretty successful gank. I'm on vision here, but there's not really anywhere for them to run. They got too close. Amumu hits her with the flash. I hop in, knock them both back towards Samira. We get his flash, but I just want to take the tower just to make sure Samira can get it. And again, helping clear the wave so bot lane isn't screwed over. Honestly, this is the best strategy for winning games right now. I run Phil every game in this series, obviously, but I end up playing a lot of jungle. And I found that this is the most successful strategy for carrying games, is to just get your bot lane ahead. Because this Samira, look at the scoreboard now, 2-0. She doesn't have a CS lead, which is to be expected against Caitlyn. But she's 2-0, they have hard bot prio, and we're taking down Dragon already, which is super valuable and super important towards a win condition. Getting a little low here, but I saw Lee Sin on top side with this ward, so I know it's not about to be smite stolen. So I'm not too worried about it. Now I'm going to look for some clears and then try to gank bot lane again once Samira's back. You can see my mid laner's also doing very well, mostly because of that echo kill we got her earlier. So there's always, if there's a gank opportunity, just always take it. Maokai has a stupid point and click CC on his W, which is just rather absurd in terms of CC and gank potential. So whenever there's a gank opportunity, just you've got to go for it. Right now on this champion, on this Maokai, I have a 90% win rate in 10 games, just from this easy gank setup. Now I take the blue, not quite level 6, but I'm still looking for another repeat gank. Amumu hops over, he clears the vision for me. But I see this guy, and I know that we can easily take him down using my Ignite for the extra damage, and we kill him straight up. Now I'm just going to go and try to defend mid turret, because if Echo gets more gold, it's going to be problematic. Because he did just shut down the Kiana for extra gold. So basically I'm just trying to get the wave off. I mean obviously it'd be nice to get the actual gold, but I'd rather not put myself in kill danger. So I'm just trying to keep the wave off the tower and stop him from doing his thing. Throw an extra sapling there just to clear the wave a little faster. Faster the wave gets cleared, the faster Kiana gets a lane reset, which is the ideal state. So I get level 6 here, and just because, like I said, the strategy is so powerful, these two have such high pushing power that I can easily just come back bot. And now I have R, so I'm sending it in. He roots him, Brand. I want to W in on her, but the wave's not close enough, so we're waiting. I spam ping on the way, because I want to dive this here. Even though she's pretty high health, there's 3 of us. So I engage on this, Q back into the wall. I take 2 tower shots. I think I might die here because I don't have passive up, but the Triumph heal saves me. And that's why this rune is so valuable. Is because this extra health in fights, like I've already gained an extra 379 health this game. And an extra 140 gold, which is crazy for snowballing. That's why it's so good, because you're almost guaranteed to get early kills on this champion. And you can see already, at 9 minutes in the game, I already have my Sunfire Cape. And that's going to help me clear faster, it's going to help me in combat, it's going to help take down objectives. So, the old meta for Maokai used to be just a Demonic Embrace rush. And that was because the item was super overloaded. But with how much presence AD champions have in the meta right now, for example, Olaf, Lee Sin, Caitlyn on their team, and as well as Kiana, Samira on this team, like these are super high AD damage threats, and it's going to be in most of your games. And Sunfire Cape gives you a great amount of armor for its price and the amount of health it gives you and the amount of damage it gives you. So it's a really good rush item. My core build right now is Sunfire Aegis into Heartsteel, just to be a massive damage threat while also being impossible to kill with the amount of health that you have. And it works out super well. I do kind of have to clear top side because I can't just ignore this. However, I am looking towards bot side whenever possible. And I know that Lee Sin's over here, but I trust that my Samira has R, and hopefully it'll go pretty well. Ends up that Lee Sin backs off right as I cut into my jungle, and I'm just going to ignore him, because honestly it doesn't even matter, and I don't know I'll win that duel, but I'm pretty sure. But either way, it's just more consistent to go for this gank right here, because immediate lockdown on him, W, let Samira get it, instant pick off, and we get a shove out the wave again. And remember, like I said, shoving out the wave is the super important part here. And I'm not scared of the Lee Sin, even though I don't have abilities. I know that we can go for a dive here. So I just target the Caitlyn. I spam ping the Caitlyn. I know that we can do it, so I damage first. And then I stand in tower as long as I can, just to take more tower shots. I didn't want to take one more just so I wasn't super low. One crucial mistake I made here was just smiting the Lee Sin. The only reason I smited him is because I wanted to make sure we burst him as fast as possible, and then I wouldn't end up dying. Then I realized that we can't take Dragon because I don't have smite up. So that is a mistake on my part, but it's alright. I figure we'll be able to get back in time to contest it. So it's not a huge deal. But now we're 2-0-8 at 11 minutes, and we already have tier 2 boots and Sunfire Aegis, which is super huge, along with an extra Ruby Crystal just from extra health. You can see Brand is going ham on Dragon here, and Lee Sin's about to join him. This is where it gets slightly unfortunate. I don't know if we'll be able to get there in time. I started taking the camp because I did not expect them to even be able to take it down that fast. I forgot about Brand's stupid burn. So they take down the Dragon, but I know that my Amumu will get it over here, Mumu and Kiana. So I just try to keep this Caitlyn locked down. I want to dodge her net, that's why I was walking to the side there. Get my W again, give the kill to Samira. Getting as many kills onto your ADC is the best way to win right now. And top lane is losing, but this is kind of why I switched over to running Phil in jungle more, is because top lane really doesn't have much agency in the game right now. Everything is bot lane, bot lane, bot lane. And that's why I've already ganked here, what, four times in 12 minutes? And it's gotten my team massive advantages, including a mid gank. And guess what? I'm still actually now ahead of Lee Sin in my jungle camps and items and gold and everything. So if you do it right, you won't get behind, and you can just get your team super far ahead. Maokai is the perfect champion for this strategy. Because like I said, point and click with W, you knock him down, you lock him down, and it's free kills for your allies. And now look what they're doing. She goes for it here, a little bit silly, but still a triple kill. I'm clearing up top side. And after this, I'll be recalling and looking to go back bot. You can see that literally Samira is 10-2 right now, which is absurd for 13 minutes in the game. You can see on our recall we buy a Kindle Gem and a Ruby Crystal, just trying to stack as much health as possible to get our Sunfire Aegis to be as effective as it can be. But even this champion with no items is ridiculously powerful. And this is after nerfs, by the way. They nerfed his saplings, they nerfed his, I believe they nerfed his Q cooldown. And I'm still rolling through games, 90% win rate, as support and jungle, either way. But this champion is still really strong for solo queue. If you want to pick up Maokai, I suggest you use games like this as a guide. Just playing around bot lane is so valuable, and sometimes you'll get an enemy jungler who might contest your early ganks, and that's going to be a little bit tougher because you really need your team to be on board with you. But it's okay. So basically, we're trying to invade the enemy jungle. I don't have anything to take except for red buff, and I really don't want to be topside, just in case my bot lane gets into trouble. I really don't want to be topside. See Lee Sin here. I go and send the ult just so he can't escape. But I figured it basically unnecessary later. I want to take his to get the game going, or to get my jungle item going. But actually, I believe it's right around here that the enemy team forfeits. So we ended the game 20 kills to 5 in about a 15-minute, 20-second game, which is crazy. You can see at the end here, we were up almost 8,000 gold at 15 minutes, which is an absurd difference, and it's basically all because I was snowballing and prioing bot lane the entire game. Alrighty, looking back at the match history screen, an overview of that game. So overview, straight off the bat, we got ourselves ahead from that first kill, and we never dropped our lead the entire game. So as you can see, kept ahead the entire game, ending it with nearly a 8,000 gold lead. So looking at our stats, one thing that I like to look at is crowd control score. So we had the most in the game, tied with our Teemo actually. I mean, he gets it pretty easy with the slows and blinds, I think. But total damage dealt to champions, I think it's easiest by graph. We had some of the lowest on our team, but we also, if we look at damage taken, we had the most in the game, which is super important. What else do I like to look at? Vision score is sometimes nice to see. So we had to also have the highest vision score in the game. And if we look at our rune setup, we had over 400 damage mitigated, 300 damage dealt with our Aftershock, which helps us become more tanky and get more kills. Font of Life healed almost 500. I think this rune is super underrated. It's very good on Maokai too because you have so many forms of CC. Conditioning gave us some good resist. Overgrowth gave us some, pretty weak max health, but it was only a 15-minute game, so it makes sense. Tenacity was completed in 8 minutes, which is super good, because that gives us a lot more team fighting power very early. Triumph gave us over almost 300 extra gold and helped us restore almost 800 health in those clutch fights, so super valuable. Anyways, thank you for watching, and let me know if you want more of this Maokai content. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you.